welcome back to Rebuilding Fulham, episode 5. Now, as you can see from the league table, things are still not going great. Although, as you're about to see from our fixtures, things aren't going as bad as you might have imagined. Let's just have a little look here. Right, yes, our first game of this month was on the 1st of the month against Wigan. Now, we need to talk about Adil Chihi. I've played him out on the left most games, and he has got injured and had to be substituted within the first half an hour of about 5 of those 10 games. He's never out for more than a couple of weeks, or he's never missed more than a game, but he always has to be substituted so early on, and today was no different. As you can see, in fact, he was substituted before he could even get a rating. I think it was within the first 10 minutes of this game he went down injured, and the same exact thing happened in the next game. Now, you might wonder why I'm talking about his injuries instead of the game, and that's because the game was boring as hell. 0-0. We decided to set up with a strikerless formation for this one. I decided what we were doing wasn't working properly and we needed to change things up. So we changed things up, and as you can see from the stats, things didn't improve a great deal. However, we did create a few chances, and our chances were both very, very good, and both of these shots on target were clear-cut chances, and Wigan only created 2 of their own. However, none of them found the back of the net. But it continued our relatively decent run, having only lost that one game against Watford. In the next game, as you can see here, Adil Chihi gets himself injured again. However, this one I was ecstatic because, as you're about to see from the stats, Blackpool pretty much dominated us in terms of shots and clear-cut chances. I think they had 7 to our 2, but we managed to score 3 goals, and that's what matters in the end. They scored early. We managed to hit back through Thomas Drage, as you can see, had a brilliant game, scoring twice, and he is really on form for us at the moment. He's finally starting to show some of the potential that I knew he had since he's come in and replaced Brian Ruiz in that shadow striker role. Gary McKenzie, of course, put them back in front, but Drage equalised again before Matt Smith, the doctor, put us 3-2 up, and we managed to just park the bus for the rest of that game and hold out and get another win, and that's a huge win for us because the pressure was really starting to mount. Next game, away at Derby, very, very tough. I was struggling to think of what kind of tactic we could employ against Derby. Eventually we went with the strikerless formation from the beginning and opened it up a little bit later once we'd gone behind. But as you can see, it didn't really work that well. We didn't manage to take our chances, and we did create quite a few chances. In fact, we had more shots on target than Derby by quite a lot, but we couldn't keep enough of the ball with this formation, and Derby eventually just ground out the result. They do also have Saido Berahino up front for them, so there is that. And I don't know if he's actually at Derby at real life or not, or whether it's just something that's happened in the game. I'm quite curious about this now because... Right, no, he is on loan from West Brom, and I assume that is something that's happened as a result of Football Manager and not something that's actually in real life, although feel free to correct me on that if he is actually at Derby in real life. Our final game of the month, well, this... I don't think I've ever seen a game like this on Football Manager before. As you can see here, we had 7 shots, 2 on target. They had 4 shots, 2 on target. 23 fouls, and we dominated the possession. Not a single clear-cut chance for either side. Like, I don't know why I'm even showing you this. This should count as a defeat for both teams. We were terrible. As you can see, almost all of the ball was in that midfield area, and it never really left that area. There were so few shots. Nothing happened. Like, I have it set to comprehensive instead of key highlights. Not once did it even show me a highlight the entire game, so it was really hard to actually grasp any kind of tactical changes. I tried a few things, and in fact, we had 1 shot on target until the last 10 minutes. We finally managed to grab another shot, but it wasn't good enough to actually show on a highlight, so God knows what it looked like. But it kept us in the game, and I was afraid of going for it too hard late on, because I was afraid that it might cause a defeat, and we can't afford to do that right now. Although we've not won many games lately, at least we've stopped the rot in terms of defeats. We've only lost 2 of our last 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 of the last 8. It's not brilliant, but we have won 3 of those and drawn the other 3, so the record is improving. And hopefully, if we can get a bit more consistency and improve the tactic, things should improve a little bit more in the future. I thought I'd just show you the other tactics I have been using, or the other tactic. We use this one, I call it Uber Defense, but basically it's just a strikerless formation with defensive wingers and a halfback. Obviously Rodallega wouldn't play in there. I've been playing, I think it's Veritic I've been playing in that role, but I have actually looked to sign someone for that particular formation, so hopefully that will come in January. In fact, I'm going to show you that in a minute. We do have this other total attack formation too, but I've not actually got a chance to use this one yet. This was ideally not something we'd ever set up with from the start. As you can see, it's ridiculously attack-minded and would leave us defensively vulnerable. But the idea with this one is that if we are behind in a game and we need to push forward, we can throw on an extra striker as an advance forward and try and get back into the game. Right then, I did manage to find out where the injuries were. It's in Championship, so let's go have a look in the injury table. Now, when I wanted to show you this initially, we had about 7 or 8 players out injured, and as you can see now, we literally just have Kay Vossa and Brian Ruiz injured, and that is better. And Brian Ruiz will be back within a couple of days. Obviously, it will take him a week or two to get back to being match fit again, but once he's back, we can put Drage back in his proper position, although I'm tempted to start playing Drage in Ruiz's position because he's been excellent in the last few games for us, and I'm afraid of rocking the boat when things are going quite well for us so far. Right, let's have a look at the table. 17th place, but it's so congested. A win could see us jump up as high as 12th, although not realistically, since our goal difference is appalling. In fact, not realistically at all, because we're 4 points behind 12th. But we could still jump up as high as 14th, and a good run could easily see us get back into contention for the playoffs, and that's what we really need to be aiming for now, since the teams at the top are starting to pull away. We are 5 points clear of the relegation zone, and 7 points from the playoffs, so we're kind of slap bang in mid-table, heading towards the lower part, but we are at least on the up, and starting to escape that. None of our players have been setting the world alight in terms of ratings or assists, or statistically in general, as you're about to see, but at least it's something. As you can see, well, Katja Nikolic isn't even at the club. Why is he there? Let's get rid of you. Right, here we go. Adil Sheehy, despite getting injured in almost every game, has managed to play almost every game, which is strange. Maybe he just gets, I don't know, maybe he's just lazy, gets a bit knackered, says, I'm injured, take me off. So that's what I've had to do. He has got us a couple of assists from decent crosses. Ross McCormack's been decent. I mean, only 2 goals, but he's got 3 assists, and he's one of the better point scorers on the team, if you like. Drage, though, has got 5 goals, and I've been very, very pleased with that. He puts in a few tackles in that midfield role as well. He's been decent. Rodallega, as you can see, he has 3 goals and 3 assists. Now, I must point out, all 3 of those assists came in the same game, and that was against Blackpool. Rodallega, I played him out wide, and he was imperious for once. He actually did something useful and got a hat-trick of assists. Now, if he could do that every game, then we'd be on to something. As you can see, in terms of average rating, Marcelo Trotter, of course, but he hasn't played much. Sean Hutchinson still has a decent rating, but you have to look down to sort of Budarov and Drage to find the next decent one, and 6.76 is not exactly setting the world alight, but hopefully that will improve as the season goes on. Most player of the matches, Hutchinson's had 2 in his 6 appearances. We need to get him fit and playing more. He is fit currently, so hopefully he will start some more matches soon. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is our transfers. Now, we are... Where are we? Where are we on transfers? Transfer history, right, yes. I don't know if the deals have actually counted as complete. No, they haven't. Right, so I'll have to show you in the transfer centre. We've got 2 players that we've brought in, and I talked about Alexander Gorgon in the last episode, and we've managed to sign him up. He is now going to be a Fulham player, but not until January. The other one I want to talk about is Andrea Lucci. Now, we're bringing him in from Livorno. We managed to get him on a cut price deal of 450 grand with a few extras involved. He is going to be the one to play that halfback role. He can play halfback as well as these other positions, but it'll be useful. And he can also fill in the midfield relatively well in case we need him to. But he has some pretty decent stats. And I'll show you what I mean about his ability to play that halfback role. Everything is 12 or above. In fact, his stamina is excellent. And he's very aggressive and he's very determined, so we've got to be careful that he might get himself sent off, which is a worry, but he will very much help that role, because we've been playing Zveritic in that role when we've been using it, and as good as he is for that, this guy should be the real deal when it comes to that. Right then, we are going to... Yeah, sorry. One thing that's important to note is that in the last couple of episodes, my mic stand had broke, so I was having to hold the microphone directly in front of my face, and that is why the audio was changing in quality, and there was that popping sound when things got too loud because it wasn't at a constant distance. Things are a little bit better today, I hope. So hopefully things have improved on that front. I'm going to be away for the next week, so there won't be any uploads until at least next Sunday at the earliest. However, I will be doing work while I'm away, so I should have a huge number of videos prepared to really get things going when we get back, including a new series to go alongside this one and the start of my experiment series, where I hope to be running some different experiments on the game to see what will happen if we do certain things, and then holiday, and then look at the results and analyse what went on. So if you like what you've seen so far, want to keep in touch, subscribe or give me a like, or just leave a comment below and tell me what I'm doing wrong and how I can make this better. But thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.